Item 5 is invoices paid in October 2014. You have a list of all the bills we paid last month. Got any questions, we'll try to answer them. If not, I'd like to have a motion to approve the invoices paid during October. Any questions on the invoices paid in October?
This book's auto service, 1849, what was that for?
It's for a charge that occurred about 3 months ago, I think, and I think it was repair on the green vehicle, the smaller
$1,849. It was to replace that front end on I'm not sure, I have to pull the invoice and look. It may have been the Dodge Charger that's down now for
That
service.
just stuck out.
Yes, sir. I'd have to look at it. If you'll come find me after, I'll pull that invoice. Does it have a date? Does it have a date on it?
Any more questions about paid invoices for October 2014? Not, could get a motion to approve them? So moved. Is there a second? Charles still looking, we'll wait. You still looking, so we'll wait.
I second.
Motion been made, second to approve the invoices paid for October 2014. All in favor? Any opposed? Here, the ayes have it, motion carried. Mayor's reports, a couple of things. Mr. Piper, myself, and some other city employees and a couple of the aldermen here have looked at the house on Mount Moriah. And at this time, we don't think there's any need for the town to get involved in that situation. And it's just not, that house is not in that bad a shape to the point that the board can authorize any kind of condemnation on it. That house, $2,000 to repair that house. So it's just not anything the board can get into. Let's see. On purchasing the new building, we were told today that is in the Attorney General's office in Nashville for them to render a legal opinion that the purchase is okay. It's probably another 60 days before that gets approved, but it's moving along. So. That's all I've got to report tonight. Move on to the next item. Got a couple of police department issues, we want to continue discussion on the 9th. What has to do with time cards, vehicle usage, and our mutual aid agreement. We installed time clocks in the police department some time ago. All of the city departments use the time clocks. We did have some resistance from the police department. They want to continue turning in the time sheets. So we'll let Chief Stanley, are you able to talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're talking about the time clocks and the time sheets. We continue to turn in the time sheets with the time cards. Is that what we're referencing? I need to know exactly kind of what we're referencing.
I was told we weren't getting time cards.
The written in time cards is the complaint.
They're written in.
The written in time
Right.
cards instead of the punch down.
Right. The auditor actually discussed this with me. We addressed that problem, and those began being punched. At the same time, there are some occasions where punching is kind of, it's not valid at the time, because what happens when they first come on, if they get a call prior to being able to punch, or make a traffic stop prior to being able to punch, and then those would be written in and initialed. Then also the time sheets that were coming in with those would show that time as well. It would correct that time. We've since quit doing time sheets at all. The new thing that the city reporter requested was a sheet that I began using probably 6 months ago or so that explained vacation time, military time, sick time, all those different times, and they're coming across now, or should start with the time cards, so they'll explain these better. Does that answer the question?
I think most of the question was that some were, just writing in all of their time.
Right, and I think that has since been corrected.
So if I understand you correctly, you turned in a time sheet and a time card.
They were up until about, I believe it was last pay period. Then we discussed it, and now comes across an explanation of why the time is there. It does a couple different things. It makes it easier to track sick time, vacation time, military time, whatever time it is that's coming across. It comes across with the time card, and that way it can be compared against it, and it makes it easier for them that are doing the time. Is that correct? Is that not? We had this discussion, I guess it's a week ago.
So we would start doing that this week. We do ask too that they put a sheet explaining any
Overtime.
difference, any overtime, a sheet for vacation or sickness or
Right,
whatever.
and those-
Detailing why that's not.
Right, those come across.
So if all of that is put together, I think that's good.
If it's GHSO time, it's an overtime explanation form, or a vacation request time, or if it's a sick leave, those kind of things go in there.
But that's along with a punched time card, not a hand.
Let me ask about the punch time card. If we have discrepancies on punch time cards that vary any whatsoever, and say we have a complaint with the EEOC, they come out, they want to pull all the last year's time cards, and they start asking questions, why are these not being paid, or why are these late, why are these early, that type of thing. Do we have sufficient record keeping in order to satisfy what they're?
Because they're documented if it's a write-in time, it's why they wrote in. Say they're not at the police department yet and they get a call, or they stop a vehicle. Then they write the time in, initial it, and write why they were late, like, traffic stop, prior call, prior clock, or whatever. That's not a common occurrence, but when it does occur, that's what's written in. And if you got any suggestions as to how better do that, I don't know how we would do it.
No, my biggest concern was, and I've run into this in the industry, you know, where EOC comes out and says, okay, we're gonna see all your time cards flashed here. We have a case where an individual has alleged that he's been shorted on overtime. That's all it takes. And they didn't pull all that. But Tricia says that we have the,
Our overtime limit.
we have the background that would satisfy them. That's all I worry about.
What was the next complaint? I apologize for my appearance. I had a surgical procedure done just a few hours ago, so I'm struggling to get this done, so.
Has that question been answered to everybody's satisfaction? Number B is the vehicles. My feelings are, we should limit the use of the patrol cars, our officers, to a radius of 15 miles from Whiteville.
Less on official business.
Yeah, right.
That would be to and from, court, to and from work,
Good.
a call in,
One way.
call in,
15 miles.
one way. Yes, sir. That's what that would be.
That's being done for no reason other than to cut costs. That's the only reason it's being done.
With that radius, I don't think probably anybody would have a problem.
And item C is the mutual aid agreement. I've been concerned for some time that we had fallen into a habit here, and if I'm wrong, all you gotta do is correct me, okay? Anytime we pick up radio traffic with a problem somewhere else, we automatically go.
Depend on the call and if it's within our mile jurisdiction. If it's within our mile jurisdiction, they automatically go. If it's a mutual aid, situation, say, a domestic with weapons, and there's only one county unit coming, and it's within another mile, meaning the max out would be a couple miles. Or if it was an accident where vehicle's on fire, something like that, it's an immediate life or death, situation, then they would respond up to that far out to back them up.
But if we pick up, this is my question,
Okay.
okay? If we pick up radio traffic, that was a problem in Middleton, Tennessee, and we have not been called by the sheriff to respond, are we going?
We would not go unless it is a mutual aid request by the sheriff.
In order for you to exceed that 1 mile statutory limitation,
Right.
we will not respond unless requested to do so.
By the sheriff's office, yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else got any more questions? Thank you, Chief.
Is that all, or do you want me to address anything else while I'm here? I have suspended the vehicle, purchase of the vehicle, until I came back to the board meeting.
All changes that have been made have already been made to me. The only step in that process will be an appeal from the affected employees. We're through that. It's over with.
Right. One other thing I would just like to add, in it being with the success of the police department, I think I know what I believe the success should be.